Shema YouTube, Welsh Boy here, and I'm back now with another Dragon Ball Super review video. Right guys, gotta say, absolutely love this episode. Little bit of inconsistencies, but nothing compared to last week's episode, or indeed half of this arc. Before I even start guys, I'm gonna say this video is gonna contain a huge amount of spoilers for episode 67, or, well, actually quite a few of the episodes. So if you're not up to date with Dragon Ball Super, I recommend avoid this video, okay? Avoid this, go watch the episodes and you can come back and you can see what I think and see if it's the same as what you think. But let's jump straight into it. We've got episode 67, With New Hope in Our Hearts, Farewell Trunks. Now, this episode, it starts off pretty much where the last one ended off, just like the last episode ended off, really. Trunks has just slashed Zamasu in two, and Zamasu is just hanging there in midair, still cut in two. Somehow or other, Zamasu is still talking. Despite her being sliced in two, he is still talking. He can't believe he's lost to a mortal, blah blah blah, oh this is impossible, and somehow he's laughing before he starts screaming again. That just goes to further strengthen my idea that he has completely and utterly lost his mind. I said it in my last week's episode review, but this time I'm pretty much guarantee he has completely lost it. He disintegrates, and we think, oh yay, Zamasu is dead, woohoo, we have won. Majin Buu must show up in the time machine, and along with Goku and Vegeta, they congratulate Trunks on defeating Zamasu. This is the point where Goku actually mentions an inconsistency that was in the last episode. Goku mentions, oh, Trunks' sword, it looked like a spirit bomb then. We all thought that last week, thought, hang on, that looks like a spirit bomb, it's a spirit bomb. And Trunks then gives us this one little explanation. It was everyone's energy, and it was that defeated Zamasu. That's all we get, guys. That is all we get. We think, okay, Trunks has never seen the spirit bomb before. He's just used the spirit bomb and used it in a way we've never seen it before, and he's just defeated Zamasu with it. It's been brought up, and all we get is that it was everyone's energy. What the hell? Come on, we need more of an explanation than that. But sadly, guys, it looks like that is all the explanation we're going to get. It likely was a spirit bomb, and likely we're going to have to assume that Trunks was able to use it in the heat of the moment. I think that's all we're going to get. So sorry, guys. We're not going to get anything more than that. So anyway, carrying on. Goku and Vegeta, they go to return the Potara earrings to Supreme Kai, and then, boom, Zamasu. We as fans, we kind of guessed Zamasu's still immortal, so he's not dead yet. We are made aware Zamasu is still alive. This red energy shoots up into the air, and it kind of disperses into this... Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry, excuse me for that, guys. It disperses into this dark purple mist that envelops the planet. In a way, similar to how Omega Shenron surrounded the planet in dark mist during GT. I know I'm sorry for referring this, bringing up GT, because I know a lot of DBZ fans and Dragon Ball Super fans don't like it, but it's very, very similar. This mist kind of turns then into these countless faces of Zamasu, and I gotta say, guys, it's got a really, really creepy laugh. Kind of reminds me of the laugh from that Mysterio has in Spider-Man. It sounds really similar, but oh, it is so, so creepy. And what's weird is that this is the first time we've ever seen an enemy turn into a non-physical form. We've seen Majin Buu, yeah, he turned into mist, but he always reformed after he became mist. But this is the first time we've seen an enemy stay in a mist-like state. Goku and Vegeta try to go Super Saiyan Blue again, but they can't maintain it for more than a few seconds. They look at Supreme Kai, and he says, oh, it must be the final Kamehameha used as Vegeta. That's zapped your power. Trunks says, fine, I'll go Super Saiyan then. He transforms, and all three of them rush off to attack Zamasu in this mist form. Goku and Vegeta in the base form, Trunks in his Super Saiyan form. I don't understand how the heck Trunks still has the energy to go Super Saiyan, but we've already found out by now Trunks' power scaling is ridiculous and it makes no sense. The three launch triple attack, Trunks with a Galactic Gun, Goku with a Kamehameha, and Vegeta with a Final Flash, and it has absolutely no effect. It's like a water gun against a rock. So Gowasu then states, this is a really, really confusing part, that Zamasu may be trying to become the universe, to become justice and order itself. I'm sorry, but what the hell? What? How the hell can he become in the universe? I understand, yeah, he's got an immense amount of power and he is immortal. But since when can he become something to become the universe or become something that isn't even physical? Sadly, even the rest of this episode, that isn't really explained how he's able to do that. But to me, it really makes no sense. If you've got a theory, please chuck it in the comments. Let me know, because that, yeah, I'm lost with that bit. I'm completely lost. We now see that Zamasu, although he is in a mist form, he's still able to attack. Energy beams start shooting from all the mouths that are in the sky. Sorry, from the mouths of all the faces that are in the sky. And they start to attack both the groups of Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks, and Gowasu, Supreme Kai, Mai, Bulma, and the Time Machine. Somehow, Gowasu and Supreme Kai are able to protect their group and the Time Machine, and Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta are able to defend against one blast for a time, and then the second blast hit them and they smacked to the floor. At this point, we see the entire planet the entire surface of the planet is wiped out. We see the people in the garage wiped out. We see Kame House wiped out. We see Android, I think it's 8. I want to say Android 8. His group is wiped out in the snowy mountains and that. And good lord, guys, we see now Zamasu has completely annihilated the entire surface of the planet. It's during this point that we actually see that a scene from the present. And we see a kind of similar portal to the one that Goku Black used when he first travelled to... Well, he first pursued Trunks through the timelines with the silver time ring. And we can see Zamasu's now warped face appearing in the sky, but in the area where the time machine was travelling back and forth from the different timelines. I'm assuming this because there's kind of like a time tunnel or something that appears, so it's only appearing in that area. Now, the thing that we are a little concerned about is that Whis and Beerus sense this, and Whis states, "Oh, it makes my skin tingle." If something is affecting Whis to that extent, we need to be a little bit concerned. So we switch back, and main characters have been knocked down, but they're still alive. And Trunks confirms what we all saw: the planet has been cleansed of all life. Obviously, everyone's sad, sad music plays. Mai loses everything and shoots into the sky with everything that she has. Goku tries searching for a Senzu Bean and actually finds that button that Zeno gave him. Now, here is where things take a turn that we wouldn't have imagined a few episodes ago. He finds this button and he thinks, hang on, we can't defeat Zamasu. Maybe Zeno can give us a hand. So he asks the Supreme Kai if Zeno will still be around. The Supreme Kai says, of course, yes, he's the ultimate god, he cannot be defeated. I found this was quite odd that Goku would ask this, because I assumed that Goku... Well, sorry, not that Goku, that Zeno was like the ultimate god, and that he was the same throughout all timelines. You know, he's the king of everything, so he's controls every single thing in existence. And since Supreme Kai doesn't correct him, it seems... Now, we are being told this new thing that, okay, Zeno, yes, he's the king of everything, but only in his own timeline. So the Zeno that will show up in this timeline is not going to be the one that we have seen in the past. So this is kind of confirmed later, but I'll get there when Zeno does actually say the next line. But anyway, Goku presses the button, Zeno shows up, and Goku actually hugs Zeno when he arrives. I found this was so funny because, you know, Whis, the Supreme Kai, Beerus, they all fully respect Zeno, and the Kais and Gods of Destruction are terrified of him. And they were worried about Goku shaking his hand. Now he's hugging Zeno. And it's not even a Zeno that he knows. So you can just see how little, you know, not so much disrespect that Goku has, but how much he doesn't worry about, you know, ranks and stuff like that. I just thought that part was really funny. And it's at this point that that's confirmed that this is not the Zeno we know. This Zeno is one from another timeline because he asks Goku, who are you? Did you call me here? So yeah, that is now my theory, guys. Since we've now got a different Zeno, Zeno is only the king of everything in his own timeline, which means that every single different timeline has their own Zeno. So, king of everything, yeah, but different timelines, I got nothing to do with that. So he looks around when he's arrived and sees, he claims, oh, this is terrible, there's nothing here. Did you do this to Goku? He actually accuses Goku of being the one who has annihilated the surface of the planet. Goku quickly denies it, points at the sky saying, no, he did it. And Zeno, you can actually see on his face, he's surprised by what he sees. Not so much worried, but just surprised. I like what he says. Zeno calls Zamasu annoying. Like, how much of an understatement is that? We've just spent this whole arc trying to kill this guy, and he just looks up and says, oh, he's annoying. Sorry. There were so many different funny little lines in this episode. I'm still giggling from them now, so sorry about that, guys. Goku agrees with him and says, oh, hang on, shouldn't he be erased? And Zeno agrees with him. Zeno, he puts his arms out to the side, and no, not a green light, what am I talking about? A blue light starts to emanate from his hands. Goku goes into panic mode. Completely panic mode, says, get into the time machine now, get away. Supreme Kai, Gowasu, get out of here now. So Gowasu and Supreme Kai, they vanish in their own teleportation way. Trunks, Mai, and Bulma jump into the time machine. It closes, and Goku and Vegeta grip onto the legs of the time machine. Personally, I'm wondering why the heck didn't they squeeze into the time machine while they had the chance? And I thought that travelling on the outside of the time machine would hurt them in some way, but obviously this way of time travel works different than what the kind of thing that we've seen in other time travel things in other episodes, no, not in other episodes, but in other series and other movies, things like that. Just as they're leaving, Zeno states this kind of world should disappear. And Zeno erases everything with a white light, including Zamasu. Zamasu screams, and all we see is just this white light, and everyone has escaped back to the future. We go back to the future and see that the image of Zamasu from that time tunnel thing, whatever you want to call it, it disappears as the time machine appears. Well, welcome back. We see both Mai's interact for the first time. What was funny was that we see young trying to instantly fall in love with adult Mai, just like how young Mai instantly fell in love with adult Trunks. Whis and Beerus show up, followed by the Supreme Kai and Zamasu, showing that Supreme Kai and Gowasu have gotten away. Sorry if I just said Zamasu then, I meant Gowasu. Goku then asks to use the time machine again and return to the future. He goes with Trunks. They both find Zeno floating in what we can assume is nothingness, and returns with the Zeno to the present, saying, oh, hang on, I'm going to take you to a great place. Goku then takes this future Zeno to the present Zeno's house, and says to the present Zeno, hey, this is your new friend. At this point, it's interesting as well that neither Zeno, however all-powerful they are or however all-knowing they are, they don't recognise each other. They both ask, hang on, who is this? So that kind of like confirms, I'm going to say kind of confirms, not 100% confirms, but it kind of confirms my theory that we have one Zeno per timeline, and they have nothing to do with any other timelines. So they're king of everything, but in their timelines only. And then, guys, a lot of people have seen this, I've been talking about this, like on Facebook, we see a new bombshell has dropped. It turns out that the Grand Priest is in fact Whis' father, and by extension, Vados's father as well. This doesn't quite affect the story yet, and although when I first found out, I wasn't massively surprised, but I was, it's surprising, but, it's not like a groundbreaking surprise, kind of like, the new time limit on Vegeta's fusion. It doesn't quite affect the storyline yet, but I'm imagining we're going to see him in Universe 7 in the future, because he says that he will visit the Universe 7 at some point. So that's one thing we can look forward to. We return to Earth, and Whis reveals that Trunks and Mai, they can return to an earlier point in their own timeline. Beerus instantly tries to stop this, saying that if they do that, it will result in a new timeline ring being formed, and they can't justify another time ring being made to Zeno. This suggests that Zeno wouldn't approve of new time rings being made or messing around with timelines. Whis points out that by destroying Zamasu in their timeline several episodes ago, Beerus has already created a new time ring himself. So how can he justify saying don't create a new time ring when he's done it himself? Obviously, quickly, this has shut Beerus up. This has instantly stopped him from trying to stand in the way of Trunks and Mai travelling back to their future. Obviously, main flaw in this plan is pointed out quickly by Bulma. If they go into an earlier point in the timeline, Zamasu would still be alive and they would need to fight him again. And Whis instantly throws in, like it's nothing, makes the suggestion that he will go into the future to inform the Beerus of that timeline that Zamasu is planning to destroy all the gods and all the mortals, and he'll get that Beerus to kill Zamasu or destroy Zamasu before he begins his plans. This does actually raise two questions to me. One's a lot easier to answer than the other. But for question one, I didn't think that gods or angels were allowed to travel through to other timelines. Obviously, that's the reason that Beerus and Whis couldn't help in the fight against Zamasu in the first place. And secondly, I didn't think that Whis could travel in time. He could reverse time for 3 minutes, but I didn't think he could travel through time. So the only logical explanation I can think of this is the second question, like I said, a lot easier to answer. Whis can just get the help of Gowasu to travel through to that timeline. So that question is kind of easily answered. But how about the fact that angels or gods shouldn't actually travel through time? The only explanation I can think of this is that since Whis is only delivering a message and not being involved in the fighting himself, that maybe, okay, fine, maybe he's allowed to travel to that time, but he's not only allowed to speak to people, he's not allowed to get actively involved. But since the information that he's giving over would change that timeline immensely, it would still be kind of a grey area. So it's kind of like 50-50 on whether he'd be allowed to do it, but he does have some kind of defense if he was caught out. Goku and Vegeta claim, oh hang on, even Beerus can't defeat someone who is immortal, and Whis says that he has something that is much better than the sealing urn they tried to use against Zamasu. Goku and Vegeta, hang on, why didn't you tell us about that? Beerus jumps in, you should not rely on the gods, which he does kind of have a point. You know, they did just rely on Zeno, the ultimate, the king of everything, to kill an opponent for them. So they shouldn't be relying on them. I know Goku and Vegeta don't like relying on people, but this time they had no choice but to rely on the gods. We then find out that even if Trunks and Mai do go to this earlier point in their timeline, there will be 2 of them, since their original forms will still exist in that timeline. Mai and Trunks say, okay, that's fine, we just want to be with the people that we knew, and they agree to travel there. It's certainly going to be interesting when they show up, say, yeah, hi, I'm exactly like you, but from a year or 2 in the future. It's going to be quite interesting, but, we'll probably never see that. Before they leave, we see Beerus say that he forgives Trunks for how he's messed with the timelines. He says that it's out of consideration for Whis, but I think we can see that Beerus, he's not going to hold it against Trunks, even if it wasn't out of consideration for Whis, because he knows why he did it. And he tells Trunks to take care. Kind of out of character for Beerus, because we always seem to think of him as someone who doesn't care that much about anyone but himself and his next meal. But we've seen in this arc that he does seem to care. He does care. He cared about the future timeline, and now he cares about this future Trunks. So I'm liking the development we've gotten. Well, it's not much of development, but we've seen a little bit of development for Beerus in this arc as well. As we expected, we see Gowasu putting this new time ring in with all the other time rings. A little bit weird, since Trunks and Mai haven't travelled to the future yet, but maybe the new time ring was formed as soon as they made the choice to travel into the future. I don't know. Tiny little inconsistency, not that big of a deal. We then shoot back to Earth, see a similar scene to the one we saw when Cell was defeated, of everyone bidding farewell to Trunks and Mai, and Goku stating that he was now strong enough to face any challenges that the new timeline might hold. Guys, it's from this point onwards that we see basically my favourite parts of the whole episode. I know we're almost at the end, but these final bits were my favourite parts of the episode. Last time, when Trunks went back to the future after defeating Cell, we saw Vegeta. All he managed to do was do a little hand sign to Trunks to say goodbye. This time, Vegeta actually throws a punch at Trunks. When you hear that, you think, oh, hang on, that's, surely a hand sign would be better. No, it's blocked, and we see them both smile about it. And this is the best smile I've ever seen come from Vegeta. It's not a fake smile that he's tried. It's not one out of excitement for a fight or an evil smile that we've seen him with in the past. It's one full of pride, but not for himself, of his son. The character development for Vegeta in this arc has been insanely good. We know that he hasn't been an enemy for a long time, and he's been seen as an allied rival to Goku ever since the Kid Buu arc. Well, technically, in a way, ever since the Cell arc, really. But we know that he's been a much better guy since the Kid Buu arc. But in this arc, we've seen him almost he's prepared to sacrifice himself for Trunks, to willingly fight alongside and fuse with Goku, and even claim himself that he was not fighting for his own pleasure or pride, but for the future world and for his son. We've never seen Vegeta do that before. We've seen Vegeta sacrifice himself trying to defeat Majin Buu, but that's the only thing we've seen of him, of how good a person he has become. This time he didn't sacrifice himself or prepared to sacrifice himself in an attempt to kill the opponent, but he attempted to sacrifice himself purely to protect his son. And he said that he was going to fight, okay, I'm fighting to protect this future and to protect the people here. We've never heard that come out of Vegeta's mouth before. It was awesome. Comparing Vegeta now to how he was when he first showed up in Dragon Ball Z. I dare you. Apart from the appearance, there are no similarities anymore. And I really like how Vegeta has become this new character who is still prideful, but he will now fight for something he thinks is more important than his pride. And back then, nothing was more important than his pride. I like the character that Vegeta has come. Not that I didn't like him before, but this one is better, I think. The next bit now, my favourite part of the episode as a Gohan fan. As the time machine is lifting off, we see Piccolo and Gohan fly towards the machine from the distance, and we see that Gohan is out of breath. I know a lot of people are saying, that Gohan isn't as strong as he once was, but there is no way he can be weak enough to be exhausted from flying to the time machine, or even from flying halfway around the world quickly to the time machine. He's not that weak yet. For goodness sake, even Krillin could fly that quickly around the world and not be out of breath. So what could exhaust him? Training. He asked Piccolo long ago to start training him again. We've seen one example of him training with Piccolo just before the Universe 6 arc, but we've seen nothing since then. Now, look at him. Look at him compared to what he's been in the rest of the Dragon Ball Super series. He looks like Mystic/Ultimate Gohan again. He's got a strong expression on his face, like that of a warrior, and his hair is spiked up again. I really, really hope that this is a sign of Gohan returning. I really hope, and it's not just a bit of fan service just to keep us Gohan fans happy. But anyway, sorry, back to the scene. My little Gohan rant over. Gohan, he waves goodbye, and Trunks gets upset as to how he realises now that, I could not protect the future. I've let my mentor Gohan down. Present Gohan then shouts for him to be well. Weird choice of words, final words to him, but, whatever. And Trunks perks up, seeing the similarities between the present and future Gohan. This also made me think how awesome this is, because when Trunks came back the last time, he couldn't believe that the Gohan he met was the same Gohan that he left after the Cell saga, or the same as Gohan in his future timeline, because he thought, when he looked at him, he didn't imagine that Gohan was ever once a warrior. But now he can see the similarities. He can see that Gohan was once a warrior, and he can see the similarities between this present Gohan and his future mentor Gohan. I'm thinking, yes, he's looking like a warrior again. He's going to come back. I've got everything crossed, guys. I really hope he's coming back. Hashtag Gohan if you want Gohan to come back in the comments. After that, we get a quick flash to Trunks waving goodbye to Gohan, Goku, Bulma, Vegeta, and young Trunks. He disappears, and the credits roll. Ultimately, guys, this episode, arc finale, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Animation was a little bit off in some places, but it wasn't that noticeable. Story elements melded really well together, and the arc itself has ended brilliantly, in my opinion. The arc has had some iffy moments overall, mainly the new weakness added to Vegeta and Trunks' ridiculously unexplained power boosts and his new abilities, but overall I did like it. The character development and the story has been awesome. Now we've got to wait until next week now for the few mini episodes that appear between each major arc. At some point this week, guys, I am hoping to do a quick preview video of what I'm expecting from the next episodes. Obviously, a lot of you have probably seen the the episode titles that have been released recently, so I want to put across my own views and own predictions for that. But ultimately, guys, this episode, I have loved it. Did you enjoy this episode? If you have, chuck it in the comments. What part did you like? Did you like Vegeta's final farewell to Trunks, Gohan's farewell to Trunks? Did you enjoy Zeno finally showing up and doing something and proving his power? What did you like? Let me know about it. Right, sorry guys, that has gone on longer than I expected, but it's still shorter than last week's, so I'm happy about that. I will keep trying to break them further and further down. But it's typical. I start off these reviews and I start off on the 2 episodes where huge amounts of story happen, so I can't really, miss any particular bits out. Right guys, that has been my episode review for episode 67. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you've made it to the end of this video, you guys rock. Thank you so much. Throw me a like if you enjoyed it. If there's anything you disagree with, let me know. We can talk about it in the comments. But yeah, I'll try to get my preview video done at some point this week if I can find some time outside of work to do it. Yeah, I shall see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Ta-ra!